He's from Tajikistan, came to the U.S. 10 years ago, and now he's looking for the upset here. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN from the bubble moves on.
Remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. God bless you both. Touch up.
So Jumakhonov comes from Tajikistan, as you heard. He came over with his parents to the United States and has become an American citizen. We discussed growing up there in Tajikistan, which is a country that was absorbed by the Soviet Union. It's just north of Afghanistan, just west of the remote mountainside of China. He said, you know, very few fighters from there. In fact, his manager said that when he turned pro, Aleem was the only pro boxer in the world from his native country at the time. Martino Jules, the unbeaten prospect at 23 years old. This is his second fight this year. Fought on February 8th, back home in Allentown, Pennsylvania. That was a first-round TKO back in Allentown against Pablo Capol.
Jules is starting off with a really good stiff jab. You know, this is southpaw versus the orthodox, so look at the feet, the lead feet, they're on the same side. So whoever gets outside control is going to have the advantage, especially in exchanges. The body when you get close.
Jules is the more polished fighter, good amateur background. Just experienced some tragedy about a year and a half ago. He lost his brother, who he called his best friend. He's fighting with that passion and just that heavy heart. That motivates him. And Jumakhonov is a little bit more crude in his approach. He doesn't have the skill that Jules has, but he's a good fighter, solid fighter, and he's not a guy that's just going to back down.
Yeah, Martino suffered through that great loss that happened January 4th of 2019. His brother Jonathan was shot and killed. And he discussed with us his suffering and his grief and how much just being in the gym and staying committed to the fight game has helped him. Comes with a left uppercut.
It's easy to see the styles here. You have the boxer in Jules, and Jumakhonov, he wants to get inside. And he's going to do everything he possibly can to get inside. He's going to get low. He's going to bend at his waist. He's going to make it difficult for Jules to land anything on him and trying to get inside.
Hands free, hands free. Let go.
One short, one short.
Stop! Watch your heads, watch your heads.
Jumakhonov and Jules, end of one from Vegas, scheduled for 8. This is the co-feature because the bout order changed unexpectedly yesterday. Felix Verdejo, Will Madera is now the main event. And that's a worthy main event, especially with the storyline with Verdejo. But Bernardo, why don't you get everybody up to speed as to why we're not seeing Miguel Marriaga, the 3-time former world title challenger, in the main event against Mark John Yap?
Mark John Yap weighed 136.7 pounds for a 128-pound contract weight, while Marriaga came in at 127.3. That's a 9.4-pound difference. Now, the Nevada State athletic regulations allow a 7-pound difference for fighters between 126 and 135 pounds. In consultation with 3 ringside physicians, they unanimously recommended against allowing this fight to happen, even had Marriaga wanted to give up those 9 pounds.
So that is the situation there. Marriaga, a guy who was going to fight for the world title against Shakur Stevenson when 3 days prior, COVID-19 was termed a global pandemic, so that was a scratch. And then this happens to him here in July. Can't catch a break this year, Miguel Marriaga. Good action here between these two in round 2. There's a straight left from Jules. Jumakhonov trying to get himself to the inside, Tim, as you noted early.
Keep going body head. Yeah, and you know what?
Watch your heads.
Jumakhonov has already made Jules fight his fight. You see Jules standing still. He was boxing at first, and now he wants to bang. The body shots have slowed down Jules and keeping him right in place, right in front for Jumakhonov to land shots like that.
There you go, 2 hands. There you go.
If you're gonna punch with him, punch short.
He's up, he's up.
Yeah, Jules can make this a lot easier by just flicking that right jab. He doesn't even have to throw it hard. He doesn't even have to land it. Just put it in the face of Jumakhonov, a guy who doesn't have the best legs. He doesn't have the most educated feet. So you can get those crispy straight rights and body shots off and right hooks that he was hitting off in the first couple rounds.
Hands free.
We call this mode that Jules is in is panic mode. All that pressure Jumakhonov is putting on him is make him stand still and have to fight when he don't have to. If he gets on his jab, like Dre says, tie up, walk Jumakhonov back into the center of the ring, then release, he will have more space to be able to work at his range.
I'm not sure Jumakhonov is making Jules panic. I just think that Jules is hitting Jumakhonov at will, and when it gets that good to you, sometimes you'll sit there and fight when you shouldn't fight.
There you go. Stay on. Get out of there, punch him.
Watch your feet. Timmy, that's exactly what we were doing in that last round, watching their feet, southpaw versus orthodox.
Yeah, but this is an old trick right here. This is a veteran move right here from Jumakhonov, stepping on the shoes of Jules to keep him in place where he wants him to be. Just an old school move right there. You know, when I told you guys in the beginning, it's going to battle of the outside. Whoever gets outside control is going to have the leverage as far as the punches goes and the punches lanes. But you can tie up a man and keep a man still if you step on his foot.
There you go. To the middle with that.
If you're Jules, or any fighter for that matter, and you feel another fighter stepping on your foot, you got to snatch that foot out of there immediately and let him know without saying a word that I see what you're doing, and that's not going to fly tonight.
Hands free, hands free.
Walk and get out. Walk and get out.
Hips out.
2 hands. There you go. Punch it.
Feet first.
You see that right there where Jules had Jumakhonov, we call that the T position. You know, the T position, Jumakhonov is squared up on the ropes and you're right in the middle. Well, that's the time you want to tee off on your opponent when he's squared up, because you can't miss. He's squared up right there for you. Head is right in the middle.
Keep it shorter, little shorter.
Straight to the middle.
Much better, lead.
There you go.
Watch your feet, watch your feet. Much better. Keep thinking
Work
about
on the body, so you
combinations.
got it right. Work on the body.
Yeah, I just think Martino Jules is just making things a lot harder than it has to be. I think the blueprint for this fight, we saw it in the first round. Box, you don't have to run, but you have better feet, you have more educated feet. Get off the superior punches, he's faster. And, you know, he's just got a higher boxing IQ. You can see that right away. And then all of a sudden in that second and third, in this third round, he's standing there more, going toe-to-toe, making the fight a little bit easier for Jumakhonov.
3 and 5. Pivot and punch. Stop.
There's an overhand right that's available for Jumakhonov. If he fakes like he's going to the pocket on the left side, he'll be able to land it, because Jules is standing straight up, and look at that left hand down as he's moving. It's available for him.
Three body, 3.
There you go.
Punch. Watch your feet.
You might ask, like, how do I know that Jules is the more superior boxer and with better skills? Well, if you look at these two fighters right now, one is feinting, one is giving angles, and one is coming the same way, and that's Jumakhonov. He has his hands up and he's coming the same way. Doesn't mean the more skillful fighter is going to win and dominate, especially if he's not fighting the right game plan, which Jules is not doing right now.
That's a good shot. Keep focusing on his body, man.
Blood coming from Jules' nose here as we wrap up round number 3. Another weight division here with the 9-0 Martino Jules. As Russell Mora calls
You're stepping on his foot.
for time to once again warn of stepping on the feet. How do you size things up at 126 pounds right now?
Watch your feet.
Well, there's soon to be a vacancy, Joe. As soon as Shakur Stevenson went on Max's show and told the world he's done with 126 pounds, Frank Espinoza, who manages Jesse Magdaleno, got on the phone and started hustling to get his guy a title shot with Navarrete, who's moving up from 122 pounds. Meanwhile, the WBO's #1 contender, Michael Conlon. I believe he's ranked by all the sanctioning bodies. He's got a tune-up next month, but he's otherwise restricted by the lockdown in Ireland. I spoke to his manager and brother, Jamie, who says that they're putting him through body analysis tests to see if he can actually go back down or go down to 122 to compete for the title vacated by Navarrete.
Interesting. So a lot of moving
As you can
parts.
see, what goes around, comes around, and goes up and down, and all sorts of weights. And
Hands free, hands free.
So a lot of moving parts between 122 and 126 as Jumakhonov tries to go to the body with the left
Punches
hand
in
there.
front.
Yeah, there you go.
Jumakhonov is taking full advantage. Good shot right there from Jules. Full advantage of Jules wanting to stand there in exchange and wanting to fight. Jumakhonov has 8 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. He's a fighter who's been through some things, probably some things as a professional fighter that Martino Jules has not, at least up to this point.
Go, get ready to fight. Aleem, get ready to fight.
There you go. Come back with that hook. You hit him with the leg. Come back with that hook, son.
Hands free, hands free.
Body,
Hands free.
body hard. The problem right now Jumakhonov is making is that he's right where he wants to be, but he's not letting his hands go. You see Jules trying to just let his hands go a little bit. He's winning that. He's winning those sessions, those spots right there.
Hands free, guys.
That's the time. This is the time right there where Jumakhonov needs to work his hands.
Keep your balance.
1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1.
Slide your feet in.
1, 2, 1. Right there.
Slide your feet in.
I'm not sure if Jules got bored in that first round because it was too easy, but it was an easy round. He didn't take any punishment. Good right hand from Jumakhonov.
Let go, let go.
Because in the second round, up to this point, he totally changed the game plan. He decided to stand there and fight, and you saw Jumakhonov come alive.
Woo. Both guys are landing some hellacious body shots.
Slide your feet in.
They gonna feel that tomorrow.
Punch and combo.
Yeah, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Don't wait for him.
Remember Felix Verdejo coming up in our main event against 15-0-3 Will Madera as we wrap up week 6 from the bubble. And here's what's coming up. SB winner Kim Clavel is in action. She's 11-0. Also, we're throwing in Elvis Rodriguez, who's 7-0 and 7 knockouts. And Guido Vianello now 7-0 with 7 knockouts. That is all Tuesday night, Timmy.
Everybody better mark that calendar Tuesday night. We're gonna have some sensational fights, baby.
Punch, Aleem.
For your entertainment.
Here we got round number 5 of our co-feature, Jumakhonov and Jules. Jules right now is 105 connects out of 316 punches thrown. That is a connect advantage over Aleem Jumakhonov, who is 52 of 229 punches thrown. You know, it's interesting, we go through that promotion for next week's fight card, Dre, and I sit there every time we have Edgar Berlanga, and I say, okay, here's the first round knockout streak. The first round knockout streak is now up to 13-0, 13 first round knockouts. And then I always say to myself, yeah, I know he's in against limited competition. I know he's got the power. But consider how difficult that streak is just by the fact that an opponent can simply run, hold, survive, and not participate in any way just to try to get through that first round.
Go back to the body with that one.
Yeah, that's true. But when you watch Berlanga,
Right there.
obviously he's aware of the streak, but he doesn't look like the streak and all the pressure that comes with it and all the press that comes with it is overtaking him. What I like about Berlanga is that he boxes, he uses his jab. I talked to him last week and I said, son, that's what I really appreciate about your style is that you're not looking for the knockout, they just come. He said, listen, I know the first round knockout thing is not gonna last forever, so I'm working on my skill set. That's a beautiful thing to hear from a young fighter.
Well, let's see if it lasts past Tuesday. 13-0, 13 first round knockouts. That is coming up Tuesday the 21st.
Touch it, touch it, son. There you go, touch and go.
Joe, if I'm in the corner of Martino Jules, I'm telling him, son, remember the first round? Remember how easy that was? Get behind your jab. Why are you making this fight harder than it has to be? And if I'm in the corner of Jumakhonov, I'm telling him, you've been places this young fighter has not. You have his nose bloodied. He's confused. He doesn't have answers. Continue to press the pace.
He pressing the pace, but he ain't throwing any punches. Trey, he's standing right in front and get picked off by Jules.
Tim, somebody's got that nose bleeding.
Yeah, man, touch it, you touch it.
And that's the undefeated fighter.
That's it. Now follow with the left.
Watch your head. Watch your
Somebody
head.
did that.
Short work.
Didn't just
nosebleed
happen.
Ain't nothing.
Watch your head.
Blood bleed ain't that a nosebleed ain't nothing, Dre. He got hit with a shot. Yes, it's bleeding, but to me, Jules right now is winning this round pretty easily.
Let him go.
Punches going.
No, that was passive.
There's a right hand between punches from Jumakhonov. Aleem Jumakhonov landed 9 power punches, including a right hand towards the end of the round, Tim, that got our attention.
Yeah, Jumakhonov threw the shorter punch. You know, Jules got to understand his range. Look how he threw a right hand and overextended when it actually missed. Left himself available. Threw that right hand from a little bit too close, the left hand from a little bit too close, and got clipped with a beautiful overhand right by Jumakhonov. That shot is available for Jumakhonov all night long. He just continue to let it go.
9-0 Martino Jules ahead on Dre's card, 48-47 as it stands right now, 3 rounds to 2. Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Martino Jules?
Luis Melendez told me, hey, this kid is stronger than we thought, but he's letting him land when he lets him come in. And if he boxes, he can't touch him, so he can't stand in front of him, and he's got to get his head out of the way.
Stop!
Double, not a single.
I don't know if it's a strength issue for Jules. I just think it's a wrong game plan. I mean, I'm looking at a fighter in Martino Jules who has a lot of skill. He's got a great foundation for a young fighter. He just doesn't know how to use the skills that he has at the right time and in the right place. And again, Jumakhonov is doing what he does best. He's walking forward, he's applying pressure, and he's taking advantage for the most part of Jules' mistakes.
Just punch with your free hand. You see what Jules right now, he just threw a 1-2, landed it, stepped inside, and tied up Jumakhonov. He got to continue to do stuff like that. And then that nice little step around hook right there he just did to get some distance and space.
No, you got to go body head.
Stop. You got it body, son.
You're overshooting it a little bit.
To the body.
Let go.
This is a great